Larissa Rubijeski with Remax Estate Properties.
Hi, I'm Mike Bjork with First California Mortgage, and welcome to South Bay Market Reports.
Thank you so much for joining us today. We have a very special guest from Progressive Title Company, Grand Alley, and we will be talking today about conditions that alter or affect your title policy. Stick with us. I'm very happy that you could make it. Thank you so much, Grant. We wanted to make sure that you tell our visitors on our website what really the title and title policy is. From my perspective, doesn't matter if you as a lender or I as a realtor or you as a buyer and seller would like this transaction work. It's not going to happen because of this guy. If he says no, nothing will come to life. Now, tell me, when your role in the transaction starts?
Well, thank you, Larissa, for having me. Mike, appreciate it. Few things. When escrow is opened after you put your deposit in, that is when the escrow officer will open up a title with the title company and start the search of the property. A lot of times this search takes a couple days as we are going down to the hall of records, making sure that we pull all the requisite deeds that are required to identify who really owns the property and who has the appropriate interest in the property, and also to sign on behalf when it's time to sign for the grantee to sell the property.
Now, I'm at the buyer and I decided to purchase a real estate. If I am paying for this title policy, am I totally protected in the future that nobody comes after me, my title, or my property?
Well, title insurance definitely guarantees that. When it comes down to it, the seller will pay for what's called the homeowner's policy. And that homeowner's policy is actually for the new buyer, the new owner of the property. And if there is financing on the property, the buyer will buy what's called a lender's policy, which ensures the bank that they are in first position to get the property if there is a default on the loan and they have to unfortunately foreclose on the property.
Exactly.
And that's a total misconception. The contract, the real estate purchase agreement, is written the way that there are two title policy, right? One is
Correct.
for the buyer and one is for the lender, not for the seller.
Right.
Or am I right?
That is absolutely correct.
So in that regard, for example, if you are moving into some spooky situation, it's not Halloween yet, but imagine that you have a ton of auctions just came to life into town, and you decided to exercise a very unconventional way to go and grab that property from the auction. What happens in the title policy then?
Well, if you do choose to go around being represented by a realtor and you want to get a deal on a property and go down to a foreclosure auction, title insurance is not issued at that time. No title insurance company will insure a purchase at auction. There are too many liens, there's too much uncertainty in the chain of title to insure it, to give them clear title. So
I actually had that experience, and that was quite a bitter one for my clients and very disappointing to me. One of my clients decided to go straight directly to the auction and try to bid on one of the properties, and they did. Before that, they actually ran the title search, they ran the title insurance, and the title was clear. After the close on the deal, they found out that there are a ton of mechanical liens, clouds on the title, and they actually end up paying more than the actual property was worth. Have you had the issues like this, you guys, maybe from the lending point of view?
Well, I have a situation where a client is buying a property that was foreclosed from a private lender, and so they're trying to buy from him, but the previous owner had all these liens against him from judgments and keep popping up onto the property, and they don't see, when you think of a foreclosure, usually all those other liens are wiped away, but not in this type of situation, and keep running into issues. And from a lender's perspective, if the title insurance is not unwilling to insure the property or the title, we're not going to fund that loan.
Exactly, right. Well, basically in the real life, in the business life of the real estate transaction, these two could be married couple, because the lending and the title, they go very tight in hand, and if there's any discrepancy, nothing's going to really come to life, right?
Right.
Now, about the distressed properties, we talked about auctions. What about REOs and short sales, Grant?
Well, with short sales, they're always very tricky, and they do take a considerable amount of time. You're always subject to short sale approval on any dollar amount or any lien payoff that happens. So what happens is throughout the life of that transaction, we are constantly checking title to see if anything pops up. Generally speaking, when someone's not paying their mortgage, they may not be paying other types of liens or other types of debts that they have. So it's always good to get a good title company and a good realtor on your side when you're in a short sale transaction.
So basically, foreclosures are a little bit more friendly in terms of the title search and title insurance.
Yes, absolutely.
Now, if we're talking on the reverse to the short sales, not only it creates problems for the lenders because they are probably gonna swallow the condition as is,
Right.
which most of the times is ugly, deteriorated, or there's a lot of deferred maintenance of the property. Now, with the short sales that are really short on the balance of the property, now, do you kind of negotiate with the second lien holders to make a clean title insurance, or not necessarily?
Well, it comes up, and Mike can attest to this. It comes up where, sometimes you'll have the first that's in default, and the second is current, and you have to pay off the second because it's going to be a short sale on the first. And so there is a negotiation period where they have to agree on a dollar amount for the payoff, if any at all, in order to move forward with the transaction. Otherwise, it's at a standstill.
Well, this is just a tip of the iceberg that we would like to share with you today. If you have any questions, you're welcome to call us. Our information will be at the end of this presentation on our website. By all means, you're welcome to call Grant directly because he's a very responsible young man and he will be happy to guide you through all these navigations and very unclear waters of real estate nowadays. I'm Larissa Rubijevsky with Remax Estate Properties.
And I'm Mike Bjork, First California Mortgage.
And I'm Grant Allen with Progressive Title.
Thanks
Thank you.
for joining us.
Thank you.